What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
Last week we talked about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and if you didn't catch the show, but we were talking about lessons that you as a marketer could learn from their campaigns. So if you didn't catch that, go to the podcast. It's a really great focus on why this was so beneficial to ALS and how it got viral like that, and how you could benefit from that. But what they were able to do was raise $88 million in 30 days compared to $2.6 million the previous year. It's unbelievable. And there was a very simple efforts and ease of shareability for the entire campaign. So we covered that, but we wanted to continue the focus on fundraising, the digital marketing medium, and a special focus on social media and its role. So I would like to introduce you right now to Kottages for Kids. Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Very good.
Hello.
We've got several young people in the studio today. I'd like you to introduce you to Gavin Grabowski.
Hi.
How you doing, sir? Lauren McKinney.
Doing great.
Hello.
Kenzie Denny.
Hello.
How are you doing? Now, they're from Franklin Township in our own backyard. They've come together to start a fundraiser for a very specific cause. They're raising money to build a number of homes, orphanages in Lusaka, Zambia. Now, here's the kicker. They're all teens, and they caught fire for doing God's good work after a mission trip in Zambia. Now, you wouldn't think that teens would have the ability to raise funds. Just shout it out. How much are you trying to raise right now?
$190,000.
$190,000. Now, that's a whale of a lot of money, and I mean, it's daunting to even raise $5,000 in a month, let alone that. But you guys have a plan. Now, I want to introduce to you their mentor. This is Bart Heldman. Bart, how you doing, sir?
I am good, thank you.
He is good.
I'm sorry, I'm well. My wife would kill me. She's a teacher.
Oh boy. Hey, well, you've been leading mission trips for years, and tell us a little bit about preparing for this trip.
Well, this is the second year that I have led it, me and my wife both. And we prepared with several meetings, and we started back in December, last December, and we actually went to the mission field for 12 days in Lusaka, Zambia, and Mongu, Zambia, on June 12th. So we had weekly and bi-weekly meetings to get these guys ready to go.
Oh, fantastic.
And part of that, we had a couple over that lived in Zambia for 12 years.
Right,
and they
right.
gave him some pointers, and they gave him a challenge. And this challenge has basically led to where we're at today.
Now, you had a partner in this as well, the Kids Alive International, right?
We partner up with Kids Alive International. They're an organization that's been around since the early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
And they are based out of Valparaiso, Indiana. They have several orphanages across the world. So you can actually visit their site. It's kidsalive.org and see exactly where they are around the world.
Now, what did you see, everybody, when you met up with Kids Alive International, the director out there? What did you see them doing out there in the field? What were they building, and what inspired you right there to want to help out?
Well, for me, once we got there to the village in Lusaka, one of the first things that we saw this past summer, which was incredible to me, was when we got there, the house dad, Wesley, was sitting around, little wooden chairs that they made themselves. And there was probably 7 or 8 small kids, had to have all been under the age of 10, and they were doing a Bible study about Moses. So, I mean, that was incredible for me to see the fact that not only are they helping these kids and raising them and keeping them in good health, but they're bringing them up in faith and teaching them the love of Jesus. So. Oh,
fantastic. Now, you saw them building a playground out there, right? And did you help start developing that in Mongu as well?
A few years ago, we put one up in Mongu, another group from our church. And this past summer, we actually put up a playground. Our group did, with the help of another guy. And we put up a playground that was donated at the Lusaka compound where the houses will be built if we raise the money.
All right, ladies, I'm going to ask you. You heard God whenever you came back to the States, right? What did you feel when you came back? There was a particular number that you were feeling that you needed to raise yourself, right?
Yes.
What was that number?
It was at first $63,000.
$63,000. Why?
The house that we're in right now, they are renting, and the rent is being raised. So that means that the orphans are now being kicked out of another home. So we decided that we were going to build them a house and a well for the farm we had just built. They also needed a well. So we decided to take on those two challenges.
So you want to take on that, but you actually went even further in that now that you started to see the need that was there. So that turned into $190,000. That is your target, right?
Yes.
You mentioned on the website, and the website is Kottages with a K, 4kids.com. You mentioned one particular child that you were able to rescue. This is a pretty intense story here. This child was actually about to be buried with his parents that had died because the village didn't have. We're not going to feed this boy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, put everything aside. Did that even seem real? Could even fathom what in the world was going on there?
I mean, once I heard the story, it was definitely surprising in and of itself. But when you see the kid and how he lights up and how he interacts with everyone else, I mean, it's just incredible to think about. You know, this kid who could have died that day, they saved him and are raising him up in the faith. And, you know, he's doing well in school, and they have plans for him to be a leader in their community one day. This kid who was essentially going to die that day, they rescued him.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, that in its own right was shocking, and you were able to get moving and be driven to be able to create this cause. Well, you had a groundswell. You had a lot of people wanting to help you succeed. And that's where we came in, because Bart actually asked us just to host your website. They're going to build something for you real quick, and Site Strategics has been looking for a way to be able to give back to its local community, but not just a donation, but actually bring some talent to be able to help. And this aligned so much with what we were looking to do. When I heard this, I wanted to get involved even to a greater degree. And what we did, we quickly set up a website for you, and that's cottagesforkids.com. But we wanted to arm you guys with a heck of a lot of additional tools. So I asked Brittany. Brittany is our social media manager and at Site Strategics to come up with a social media training plan. And we wanted to give you some ways to get the word out. So Brittany, tell us quickly what you were able to convey to them at this last meeting.
Sure. After doing an audit of their website and kind of getting an idea of the existing social media that they had in place, I wanted to get kind of down on paper the direction we were going to go. So what I was able to do is kind of sit down and in a PowerPoint presentation, kind of come up with the types of social media content I thought they should be cranking out, kind of strategies in terms of doing that. I kind of gave them a task to take an inventory of what they had. So that would be, you know, images that they took while they were over there and that kind of thing. Kind of create an image gallery, determine, you know, what messages were time sensitive, what they wanted to get out there immediately, kind of hitting those benchmarks as they fundraise, you know, such and such an amount in this time and that sort of thing. And then from there, just kind of letting them know the power of social media. For me, it was when you told me about the project, I was most excited to kind of talk to them face to face and let them know that not only is this an attainable goal, but, you know, with social media, something that these young teenagers are very familiar with, that it could become a really good, valuable resource for them, and that in telling their story, if they use social media properly, that they could give other people the bug as well in terms of, you know, raising funds and getting people excited about it.
Absolutely. Kenzie, did you see all of that information? Was helpful for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes. And you actually even got a calendar, already kind of prepared calendar for like the first month. Have you been able to use that so far?
I think we're working on it. But it's a good template.
Yeah.
September kind of snuck up on us. You know, I think we're kind of in a recovering phase from all the donations last month, but we're going to get rolling here.
You were able to get to your goal, $5,000 for the month of August, right?
Yes.
And you have another goal of 5,000, or are we going after a larger amount this month?
Yes, we have another donor that's going to match $5,000 for the month of September.
Fantastic. Well, what we wanted to do is actually set you up for a little bit more success, and we have actually contracted Mobile Cause, which is a great software tool for you guys to be able to use to do a text to pledge type of fundraiser, and we're going to arm you guys with those type of tools. Now, and in fact, right now, if you're listening to the show, this is how easy it is, actually. If you text to 41444 and then with the word Cottages, you can actually pledge a number right now, $10, $25, what have you, and you'll get a link to be able to do that transaction right now. It's a fantastic tool.
And Cottages can be with a C or with a K.
That's right. Yep, exactly. So we got all the misspellings taken care of as well. And the autocorrect as well. Get rid of that. So this tool, we're actually going to work with you guys and train you guys on how to use it, but it's a fantastic peer-to-peer promotion tool as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about peer-to-peer here with Stephen Shattuck. We actually wanted to get you involved with Steve Shattuck from Bloomerang as well, because he's going to be able to give you guys a lot of fundraising tips over the weeks to come. But this peer-to-peer type of environment is going to empower other teens that are seeing you guys focus on this, and they're going to have their own little micro fundraisers as well, right? So this is another tool that is great for social awareness of fundraising, and this is what we all saw from the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, is that it's very easy to be able to have a very small donation happen, and it could just cause a brush fire across the social media world. So we're gonna stay with you guys the entire time, and we're gonna be prodding you along, because I know you guys are also students, right? By the way, you're not full-time fundraisers. Yeah. What are the challenges there, real quick, about doing this while you're in high school? Gavin, you just went to college, right?
Yes, sir.
So you've got those challenges in front of you, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of work for us to do. So it's hard to balance, schoolwork with, your regular life, let alone trying to raise $190,000. So we could use all the help we can get.
Absolutely, and we've been able to actually talk to the radio station as well. We're actually going to be running these text-to-pledge ads throughout the entire series of weeks to come, and we're going to be cutting commercial right after this. So if there's anything that we can do to help you get the word out, we're absolutely going to do that. So guys, everybody, go to cottages4kids.com. We got to go square up that other address real quick as well. And you can also text to that's texting to 41444 Cottages and your pledge amount, and you'll be able to donate right to these kids' causes. Guys, it's great to be able to see teens that take up this type of mission, because there's so many other challenges outside of in the youth's world today that keep you away from doing God's work, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. So we're going to keep watching you guys, keep supporting you guys, and we really want to see you succeed. So, hey, we're back talking to Cottages for Kids, and we wanted to quickly just talk to a couple of the ladies that are teens that are doing an incredible fundraising job, and their goals are $190,000 to help some children in Zambia to be able to raise enough to build 3 orphanages and a well. They're going after $190,000, and they are on fire, and they're wanting to get the word out. So ladies, thanks for rejoining us here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. By the way, you're listening to Edge of the Web Radio. I'm Aaron Sparks, and we wanted to showcase this group. So Lauren, I'm going to ask you, can you tell me a bit about your experience and a perspective of why you're involving yourself with this cause?
Well, when we first went to Mongu, all of the children were very excited and very, singing and laughing and stuff like that. And there was a little girl that was outside of the huge group of kids, and her name was Naomi. And the whole entire time she would hold my hand, but she would never talk. And so, we went there, I think, the third day she started, slowly talking and stuff. And then by the end of the trip, we were getting along, and she was sitting on my lap, and we were laughing together. And I just really bonded with her. She was just adorable. And on the last night, I asked what her story was to one of the caregivers. And they said in the past year, she had lost her mother and father. And then she was living with her grandfather and her grandmother. And her grandmother died, and then her grandfather died, all in 1 year.
Oh my gosh.
So she had no no family, so she was given to Kids Alive, found on the streets, giving to Kids Alive. And that was why she was so shy, because she was so nervous to attach to other people. And I had God gave me the ability to connect with her and give her hope. And now she is with Kids Alive, has an opportunity to grow up and be educated and actually have a lifestyle without living on the streets. And, hearing that they're going to lose these homes, I want to be able to rescue more Naomis, and I want there to not be all of these orphans left on the streets, because there's so many kids in Africa that don't have a chance and that aren't given hope. And if these homes are lost, there's going to be even more.
Absolutely. Do you still have a connection with Naomi? Are you able to communicate with her?
Yes, I've sponsored her.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, Kenzie, you've got a story to tell as well, right?
Yeah. There was a girl and her name was Joy, and they don't even know how old she was, but she was found on the streets in Lusaka, and her mom was mentally handicapped and kind of just abandoned her. So now Kids Alive has found her, and she has food and shelter and loving people that will take care of her. But if we don't raise this money for these houses, they're just going to be homeless again and back on the streets.
How soon? I mean, you've got a time crunch here. Do you know when? Do you know when they're actually going to not have this housing anymore? Don't know when it's going to happen. You just know it's impending, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, how many kids are we talking about here?
50? 58 in Mangu and 25 in Lusaka.
58 in Mangu and 28 in Lusaka. That's amazing. And what you've got here is a chance, and you see this chance, to be able to connect with teens just like you, to be able to just raise a little bit. Right, and you started with an armband bracelet, right? A wrist bracelet, selling at $5 for what have you, and you were able to raise a lot of money that way. And you're continuing this with corporate matching as well. So the word's getting out, right?
Yes.
And hopefully we can help you get the word out even further. What would you like to say as a reminder or a parting perspective for people that maybe are disconnected from the type of pain that you witnessed and the problems that you witnessed? What would you like to impart to people?
God has blessed Kenzie and our team and myself to be able to go to Africa and see these children. And in Zambia, they don't have a support system like our orphanages here. So they have no one. Kids Alive is the only place they have there for these orphans. So just think about all of the homeless people downtown, but picture them as children. And they don't have welfare or anything of this sort. These kids are being abandoned. And we just need, even though some of these people might never be able to go to Africa, they can come to Africa with us just by supporting us through prayers, money, anything, that we're bringing them to Africa with us.
And it's going straight to that organization, straight to that location. I think that has a lot to do with fundraising. So many times people don't know where this is going, and so there's a disconnect. And we're going to talk a little bit. We're talking a little bit about fundraising here on this show. But that's the point: is that that this is going straight to those orphanages, and we wish you all the best in the world. And we're going to be with you the entire way to watch and be able to give you as much as we possibly can to get your word out and get this mission accomplished. All right?
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And God bless. Take care.